Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Hearthstone. My name is Rooster and today we're playing some Tempo Mage. I've been facing a lot of Tempo Mages yesterday and I thought I might as well just give it a try myself again. It's been a while since I played some Tempo Mage, so yeah, it's good to give it a try sometimes. You may notice some odd cards in my deck again. You might as well be used to that by this point. Mostly because of a slightly limited card collection and the fact that cult sorcerers have been evading me for, well, ever since the release of the expansion, actually. Against the Warlocker, yep. I'm tempted to keep the Twilight Flamecaller, which should be a pretty good card. Throwing away everything else, I think we do, yes. We need some better tempo cards, but against the Warlock, this is exactly the reason we include the card, so we might as well try out what it will offer to us. And we are up against the exact deck I want to keep that card for, so that's nice. Playing the Mirror Image is not very useful, especially since we have a Sorcerer's Apprentice on hand, so don't mind that too much. I never noticed that that Gul'dan is grinning so much after saying I greet you. He's not a very nice person. Let's do we play the Sorcerer's Apprentice and the Mirror Image? I don't hate it. Just getting something out on the board will help, certainly. They'll hold the fort and probably have the Sorcerer's Apprentice survive, which is good. And then the Flamecaller might do some work next turn. It's not looking too exciting so far, mostly because of the 2 health of all the minions here. And the trend continues, I'm afraid. Okay, not looking so hot right now. But I guess a Torch and a Frostbolt will do some work. And he didn't entirely get through this, so that's certainly decent. We can Torch, we can Frostbolt, and then we still lose the Apprentice next turn, though. Not much we can do about that, I'm afraid. Might as well just get some value out of it right now. Just a little bit of tempo advantage, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm getting some face damage in here. I'm going to lose it to the board anyway. And might as well still get some value out of the Twilight Flamecaller next turn, although that Defender of Argus made that kinda rough. 4 health is pretty good on the board though, so I think I'll coin out the Azure Drake. Getting an extra card also pretty useful, and this Flamecaller not looking so hot. So about the deck list, the Flamecaller is a bit of a strange card, a bit of an experiment actually, and mostly because I don't own a second Arcane Blast. I was tempted to put in an Arcane Explosion, which might have been a better idea in retrospect, just because it has a little bit more of spell synergy. Could be pretty good in this situation if I get a Flamewaker, for example. So yeah, that might be a consideration. Not crafting a second Arcane Blast for this deck. Yeah, that's pretty much as expected. If Zoo gets out on the board, then it can be hard to stop the train from rolling. Flamewaker's not awful, but we do need to do a bit more work here, I'm afraid. Flamecaller still looks decent, and it might be better than playing the Acolyte, which seems really weak.
I wonder.
Let me think for just a little bit more. If we play the Flamecaller, we kill this, and we kill this. So he has a 2-1 and a 3-2. It seems rather good, actually. He'll probably trade the 2-1 in, and then he doesn't have much of a board left. Flamecaller gets to be a lot better later, though, but yeah, let's take a little bit of risk. We're doing fine on the health front so far, and I'm going to be a little greedy with this Flamecaller here. I'm expecting a what's it called again? a forbidden ritual to come out anytime soon. So that might be a thing that happens. Forbidden Ritual has also always been quite a strange card, mostly because it was when it was spoiled, people either because the art was a little strange, but people really assumed that that card was going to be an epic, and I wonder whether that means that Blizzard changed the card or maybe to make Zoo a just to not make Zoo too expensive. I mean, how's the Flamecaller? Still not awful, but still not incredible. I'm a little bit in doubt with this card right now. Taking a bit too much damage to really feel safe about myself. So Flamecaller eliminates 3 damage, I guess. Alternatively, we could play Acolyte and Water Elemental and Ping. Doesn't seem too terrible, but he has some really mean damage on the board. We might be dead if I do that. Let's go with this. The Dire Wolf is not so hot when it can only deal buff 1 minion on its side, so that's okay. And now the Ritual comes out. But we might draw some spells. I'm kind of short on spells right now. Or are we still dead? That could be a thing that happens, and there's not much we could have done about that. I'm afraid. Triple power overwhelming. Are you kidding me? Alright, well. Well, that's Zoo in a nutshell nowadays. Wow, that's pretty ridiculous. So not entirely convinced about that card. And as you might see, we've got an Acidic Swamp Ooze here and a Fallen Hero, both substituting for the Cult Sorcerer. I'm not entirely convinced that double Cult Sorcerer is required, but since it's one of the very few rare cards that I'm actually still missing from the Whispers expansion, I'm really reluctant to craft one, and that's just me being a Scrooge basically. But I just can't. I just can't. You know how it is. The same with the second Arcane Blast, although that's a lot more expensive than the Gold Sorcerers. And I might consider a bit of a slower version of Tempo Mage. I'm not sure if it's even Tempo Mage, if it's slower than this one, but a slower version which includes Kabbalist Tomes, which I also don't have. But first on the priority list right now is probably getting a Ragnaros Light Lord to get the real N'Zoth Paladin list going. So I would really like that one, and possibly a Forbidden Healing afterwards. That is also a card that is quite. The second Forbidden Healing is quite essential in most controlling Paladin decks. So that's first on the wish list, and therefore Tempo Mage will have to take a backseat, I'm afraid. Are we trading and using the Forbidden Torch? Doesn't seem too appealing, but not really having too many other choices, do we? We could Flamewaker, coin, doesn't really do anything. I think I'm okay with torching and trading. Perhaps even leaving the trading to him, that's not really very conducive. Could also trade and play the Acolyte, is that better? Not really. Although, coin into... No, not really. Let's just go for the Torch in the trade. He's only got 2 mana next turn, so what's the worst that could happen? Totem Golem, I guess. That is pretty much the worst that could happen right now, and I would be okay with that, I think. I'll probably throw an Acolyte in there, I guess. Well, Trog is also menacing, I guess. I don't hate throwing in a Sorcerer's Apprentice here, though. I think that might work out. Especially with the Arcane Intellect, we can get some decent tempo going. Mirror Image is not the worst, but I would like to preserve that for the Flamewaker. So let's see what comes out here, and whether he trades. He probably should trade. That is an acceptable trade for him, and the Sorcerer's Apprentice can be dangerous. Of course, if he doesn't have any... Okay, that's another Rockbiter, so that's both Rockbiters down. That really reduces his burst by a lot. So I am perfectly fine with that for this moment. Tempted to go Water Elemental, although we could also go for a greedy Flamewaker play. I think I'm fine with throwing away one Mirror Image in the interest. Well, he might just hex this, and then we're actually fine with that. I'm not too enthusiastic about the Flamewaker here, but I think I'll just pass on the Mirror Images. I think they're more valuable in combination with the Flamemaker. He might still be tempted to hex this if he has it, because this is quite a rough thing to deal with. Maybe if he has a Flame Tongue Totem, I guess that's a proper trade. But would he be able to still make the trade if we had the Mirror Image? I guess he wouldn't. But this is a trade I am fine with, depending of course on what happens. There's a Flame Tongue Totem. Okay, that's going to be a little awkward now. Although I guess the totems aren't really in the proper place, so the Mirror Image will be pretty good starting next turn, and at least the Healing Totem's dead now. So that's something. Are we going for the double Mirror Image, or just the Coin Mirror Image Acolyte? I think I like that.
I serve the Fire Lord.
That is probably okay. Let's see where the pings go. First play the Mirror Image. Because we may actually... Oh, that's pretty good. I'll take that, I think. We can't easily deal with the Mirror Images here, so that's fine. Yeah, that is absolutely fine. I might have considered doing an additional Mirror Image and a ping instead of the Acolyte, which wouldn't be the worst idea, but is a lot weaker against Lightning Storm, I guess. 2 Rockbiters down means he's unlikely to be able to clear this board, which is pretty good for us. He's looking for another Flame Tongue, which he's not getting, and that seems really weak against the next Flamewaker, so that's pretty good for us. What's his card? Alright. Yeah, I guess he gets a card out of it, but we're in a decent-ish position. Decent-ish. Let's draw a card, actually. I think I would like to draw a card first, unless we, Is that good? That might be good. Do we want to torch something first? We get 4... I don't think we need to do that. We can pretty much just clean house here. Well, not exactly. What do we need to kill? What do we absolutely need to kill? I guess this absolutely needs to die, right? That's okay-ish. Maybe this. No, I think torching this is okay. Now that's a pretty decent result, I'll say. I'll smash into that because the damage on phase is not too relevant. Yeah, so I did need a bit more than one spell to make proper use out of that board, but and there's the Lightning Storm. Well, at least we cleaned house, so the Flamewakers still live. We get to draw a card, and he may not have a great way of dealing with this. I don't know. Well, I will have to see. That's a pretty good draw, I'll say. Let's draw some cards. And the Frostbolt looks pretty juicy, depending on where the bolts go. We can just clean house with an Arcane Missiles, I guess. Do we want to play a Spell Power first? I guess we do. Maybe just Acolytes, actually. That seems a bit greedy. Let's missiles. Missiles pretty good here. That should absolutely clean house. And that's a concession. All right. Didn't even need the Yogg there. But yeah, double Flame Maker can be pretty disgusting. If he had gotten a Spell Power Totem and rolled 4 onto one of them, he might have had a chance, but that's pretty ugly. Tempo Mage can get pretty disgusting like that. As long as you can get your card draw, which is why the Acolytes of Pain are in here actually. You could go for a bit of a slower approach with, for example, the Cabalist Tome or the Ethereal Conjurer, but Acolyte, well, it's cheaper most of all, and that's actually kind of important in matchups like Midrange Shaman, 2 Warlock, aggressive warrior decks, which are making a resurgence surprisingly. Keeping the Apprentice and throwing away the Acolyte, I think. Alright, that's not the worst. And that is a pretty good draw, I'll say. Kinda forces the Rockbiter again, so that's okay.
Hello.
Either that, or we're... well... I would say we're in a pretty good shape right now, unless he manages to easily deal with this. We'll have to see. I don't hate torching something next turn, even if the Sorcerer's Apprentice dies. And if she doesn't, then we've got a way to deal with a lot of stuff here. Are rapidly running out of cards though, so that is something to be concerned about. Is he holding on to a Lightning Storm here? I don't know. I'm a little concerned right now. If that's a Lightning Storm coming up, then I definitely don't want to Fallen Arrow here. I guess I'll take it slow too then. Just being a little careful. Didn't hurt anyone. Kinda wished I had Arcane Intellect or something. That seems really slow, sir. That's 8 cards you've got there. Let's see how we best deal with a really slow opponent. I guess this play is going to be fine. If you're taking it slowly, then so can we, but this is a threat that doesn't easily die to Lightning Storm, so that's good. Coin into Feral Spirit. Well, that's a guard, I guess. Forbidden Torch, or... I guess we could... well, we can Forbidden Torch and trade in the Mana Worm. I don't hate that. And then what? That's kind of a problem. We could Frostbolt it. Frostbolt, trade the Mana Worm, and ping... I don't like the ping. But Torch is pretty much always happening, right? I guess it is. I don't mind torching that. And then I guess we trade into that thing... do we play the Fallen Hero? There's a question. We don't have to trade this in, actually.
Time runs out on me.
We could just take it slowly and... well, then we still have to trade, right? I don't like how this turn is going. I'll trade. I don't like how the numbers add up there. I guess it's yeah, that is kind of to be expected. Kind of the reason why I didn't want to commit another minion, but if I didn't commit another minion, then I guess we would be in the same spot next turn. Well, this looks rather weak, but we can at last... well, I'm not expecting him to really commit that much to the board anyway, so I guess getting the 2/2 out there is not awful. We're gonna need some card draw though. Alternative options last turn. Why is he not? Oh, he's really overloaded. Yeah, we got nothing.
Cooking time.
We got nothing, but a lot of burst, I guess. We could have torched face here, but that seems a little optimistic to me. Got a lot of answers, but not a lot of problems here. Kind of wondering about what kind of shaman we're facing.
Take heart.
Some kind of Nazoth type, I guess. That's a tough card to deal with, by the way. And by tough, I mean we kinda can't. I don't mind freezing it here. I actually kinda like that. Let's take it a little slowly, put on some pressure. I think I like it. Allows us to kill it next turn, which is kinda neat. Yeah, I would be okay with that. We're going to have to take it a little slow here, but mostly because he is 2, and we don't have any card draw right now. Kind of puts us in an awkward spot right here. Yeah. So that's kind of like the control shaman deck I was playing a week ago. Do we torch the mana tide to be able to ping the cairn? I guess we might. Gets the torch into our deck, which is kind of not a card we want to draw right now. But we kind of have to. We can't just let him draw cards there. Sure. Don't like it. No card draw is kind of a problem. Would the Fallen Hero have really helped here? Well, it puts some additional pressure, so we would have had him a lot lower and couldn't have burst him out really, but wow, that's impressive. I guess he can afford that right now. Because we're not doing much in the way of putting pressure on him. I don't see us winning this. How do we still win this? Getting a good Yogg, I guess. And that means stalling out. Okay, I guess we have to wait for a good Yogg. And then use our spells when we draw him and then play him next turn. We don't really... Oh, it's Crusher. That's cute. That's really cute. I don't think we have a way to deal with that unless we draw Yogg in the next few turns. There's no way I'm fireballing that thing. And this is what I talked about when I was playing the aggro freeze mage, which is actually why I probably shouldn't be playing mage today. Wow, I didn't realize it's been such a short while ago. Kind of curious. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna hope to clear a bunch. And hope he doesn't have Lightning Storm. Are you kidding me? Did not even clear the totems. Could have Arcane Blasted there, but that card's going to be useful still. He's pretty much gonna have a Lightning Storm. Oh, even the Halaziel to accompany it. That's a cute deck. That's a cute deck, sir. I applaud you. Yeah. So Yogg or bust, I think. I'm not going to stretch this game out any longer. We're gonna need a Yogg here, or... Well, I guess we could draw a Yogg next turn, I guess. We could draw a Yogg next turn. There's always this out, so you gotta play to your outs, right? And if Yogg gives us triple mind control or triple pyroblast to our opponent's face, then that's still a way we can win this. Not fancying my chances, of course, but whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh well, I wasn't expecting that, that's for sure.
Well played.
That's a cute deck. That's a cute deck. But yeah, the elemental destruction, and pretty much we burned out on card draw. We didn't get an arcane intellect, or a blood mage, or an acolyte of pain, and in that case, one board wipe means game over, basically. Or an Azure Drake, actually. Yeah. So there were definitely cards in our deck that would have helped in that situation, but I'll go out on a whim here and say that Control Shaman is probably a bad matchup for Tempo Mage. Unless you get a good start, and that's the curse and the blessing of Tempo Mage. If you get a good start, then you're really tough to beat. But if you don't, then you might be in trouble pretty quickly. I think I'll keep these. Not the biggest fan of Arcane Missiles against a Druid. It's not really going to do a whole lot. Unless you can combine it with the Flame Waker or something. Coining out? Are we coining out anything? I guess we are. Let's put on some pressure. Not really planning on hero powering anything, but just getting a 3-2 out there is going to be pretty good. Fallen Hero is pretty good against the average Shaman too, actually. The ability to ping down any totem in one turn is pretty decent. Mostly a late game card, and I guess the same applies to the Gold Sorcerer. Oh, I'm messing with my window. Let me fix that. That's not good.
Someday I'll be just like you.
I should confine my cursor, but I keep forgetting. Let me quickly fix this. There we go. Excuse me for that. Sometimes you just click the button off your window and then things go awkward pretty fast. Do we Frostbolt that? Do we torch it? I don't hate torching it. I can just hero power it, what am I saying? No need to waste any cards on what you can do with your hero power. We just saved a card there.
Pay attention, class.
If we had a Cold Sorcerer here, we would have wasted a Frostbolt or an Arcane Missiles. That's not too bad. What do we do here? I guess we torch, and we could Missiles, I guess, but we're pretty much always torching, right? Oh, we can torch in hero power. Who am I kidding? I'm not used to this Cold Sorcerer, as you can probably see. If he doesn't have a good card here, he's dead. That's pretty amusing.
Where shall
That's pretty much the expectation. That's the average result here. And I'm okay with that. We can Frostbolt Torch, and is he still dead if we do? We've still got Frostbolt and Torch, right? So that means we've got 6, 10, and Missiles. Not quite, but pretty damn close. Oh, actually, Missiles means lethal. That's pretty ridiculous.
I can see.
Yeah, that's pretty dirty. I guess he had a really slow start, but we did clear out his minions and still killed him in 5 turns. That was pretty sick. And then that's the way of Tempo Mage again. That is just the way the deck rolls. Sometimes you get the nuts, and sometimes you just bleed out over quite a few turns. Let's see what kind of warrior we're up against, because usually, well, if we get a good start, then even warriors don't really have a chance. Fallen Hero, I guess we'll have to do. I might not play a Mana Worm on turn 1, actually. I don't like playing it on turn 1 against a warrior, even though if they don't have an X, it's going to be pretty good, but if they do, then we... Well, if it's an aggressive warrior, then we kind of want to have the Mana Worm out there. I guess knowing whether he has an X or not is going to be worth the card. And then we can keep stuff in mind in case he doesn't.
Armor made.
No, that's not a fiery war axe at the very least. So in a way, that's pretty good for us. We can ping that over 2 turns, or if he hits into one of our minions. If he gets a whirlwind effect, that's going to be next turn at the soonest. So still good enough. Still good enough.
Are you my master?
Okay, so up against the Cthulhu warrior. Hitting into the mana worm, that's interesting. What does that mean for us? It means we could... well, it means he can kill the mana worm with the 2/3, I guess. I'm pretty sure we're just ignoring the armor smith, right? So we're torching this. Yeah, that seems fine. As long as we can keep removing his armor, I don't feel too threatened by it. He could hit into one of our minions and then play a ghoul, and that would be a little unfortunate, but A, not much we can do about that, and B, we still have either of these 2 minions which can probably trade into the ghoul, so don't hate that too much. He's hitting into that, so we are probably hero powering next turn. Because I would like to preserve that thing for as long as possible. Don't hate the mirror image here either. That's actually going to be pretty good in case of a decent-ish top deck, I guess. Sure, I'll take that. Azure Drake next turn to restock. Might be fine. As I said, it's probably worth the risk, because if they don't have the axe, then the mana worms can do some real damage.
You hear its call?
As I experienced myself yesterday, I'm not sure what deck I was playing. It was one of the last 2 episodes, but I didn't manage to clear out 2 mana worms. I guess I was playing the burst mage deck, so I guess it was a bit longer ago, where I had the choice to fireball a mana worm. No, it wasn't a fireball. I don't remember. Why don't I remember stuff like that? But eventually the 2 combined mana worms dealt like a ridiculous amount of damage to my face. That was a pretty dirty game. I kind of wanna hero power down that shield and kill another minion. So in that case, let's not overextend it to brawl either. That also sounds like a bad idea. I don't mind trading this in, but I do mind losing this. So I guess we could Sorcerer's Apprentice and Roaring Torch. That's kind of the definition of overextending. In that case, I'll trade in the mana worm. Is that okay? Or I just make this trade.
Time runs out on me.
I don't like how that leaves me with no viable options. Let's be optimistic. He doesn't have a brawl. There's no way he has a brawl, right? If he doesn't have a brawl, we kill him next turn. So there's something. Doesn't have any armor, so the best he can do is... oh, there's the X. Okay. Well, that's something. Doesn't have a brawl though, so I would... Would he have brawled if he had... he did have the armor up, and I guess he didn't need to. Perhaps. Are we drawing a card? I guess we're drawing a card. We can still get rid of his armor, so it's good enough. That's not an awful card for next turn. It is a little poor for this turn, unfortunately. And he could get 10 armor back right now. If that's all he does, I think I'm okay with that, though. So hits into the mana worm, and then plays a shield bearer. That's tough to deal with, but at least we can draw an extra card in that case. Okay, shield stun. I guess that means he doesn't have additional armor. He's kind of scared. Another axe, and then executes that. Wow. Okay, well, he's out of cards. There's the good news. Good news, he's out of cards. Almost. Not sure what that card's gonna be, but I'm pretty sure... Well, are we going to need the Telnos? We might need the Telnos, actually. Let's do it this way. Please don't let one of those cards be just a card, because that's going to be tough to beat. It was a shield bearer. Well, I guess that was a pretty good turn after all, but... I don't necessarily agree that that was the correct choice. So we are fireballing that, aren't we? And in that case we're playing Water Elemental, I guess. That's not unreasonable. He's used most of his removal already. Wait, we can't kill him right now, can we? No, that's ridiculous. We've got 14... We certainly haven't got enough. We're not going to get enough if we're losing the Azure Drake, so that's not a thing that's gonna happen. And having 2 minions out on the field makes his brawls reasonably inefficient, so I'm okay with that. Sure. It's gonna be drawing a few inefficient Cthulhu minions, which could be okay. Would you please stop armoring up? That's really rude, you know? At least the Azure Drake lives, so that's a reasonably constant damage source at the very least. We might just want to play the Thelnos because we're not going to burst them out, are we? Do we want to save the Apprentice? I guess we do. Well, we'll have him waste his axe on something less relevant, although he can't axe next turn, actually. I think I'm okay with it then. I'm not sure what I'm holding the flame collar for, actually. Maybe I should just... I'm holding it for after a brawl. To have something on the board. That seems reasonable. So another bash. You just keep armoring up, sir. Just keep armoring up. Got a double spell power for the fireball here. That's reasonably okay. Gets rid of the armor. Not sure how much that is worth, but... Committing 3 minions, is that okay? I guess that's fine. Maybe we don't want to. But hitting him for 5 is not going to be effective enough. No. We're, Am I going to take advantage of the double spell power, or do I think I need this as removal? I think at the point where I need to use this as removal, I am pretty much screwed anyway, right? Yeah, pretty sure about that. I can use it as a Pyroblast here, so that seems pretty good to me. Don't have the second Fireball though, so that's a little worrisome. So he's going to... What's he gonna have? Does he have the Cthulhu? I don't know. Kills the Thelnos, okay. So he's on 14. Does not kill... Now you're a little late, sir. You are a little late right now. So we're going face for 6. And not playing anything else. He pretty much doesn't have a brawl right now. So we could just flood the board. If we play this, he can steal a minion though. So that's kind of not good. If we play this, he can steal a minion. I guess we can ooze, but what weapon are we waiting for? Basically Gore Owl, right? I don't think it's going to be important enough. Let's do it this way. I don't think this is unreasonable now. He can kill one of our minions and then we still have 5 damage and the missiles might kill him. If he doesn't have anything meaningful. Which is kind of a big guess. Make sure to attack with the minions first. How does the Flamemaker work if it really... the missiles might still kill him. We've still got the ooze here, so that's okay. Not holding out, but it's a 50-50, isn't it? Okay, I think he's dead. Alright, well, that was reasonably close. That was a tight game. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of Tempo Mage today. We pretty much get the gist of it. And I would like to try a slower version of Tempo Mage at some point. It's on the watch list, but let's first go for the Paladin decks, and then as soon as we get those Catalyst Tomes, then we'll try out a slower version. That looks intriguing. Not as good against Shaman and Zoo, possibly. But we haven't seen a Zoo deck in a... well, I guess we've seen a Zoo deck in the very first game today. I'm not sure I've got a good enough grasp on the metagame to say which one is better. But Tempo Mage is always a fun deck to try out. If you like some spectacular wins, then it's going to be pretty good. Haven't seen any Yogg today. That's a little disappointing, but he's mostly just in here as a last resort, I guess. Alright, hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions on what deck you would like to see me play, please leave a comment below. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.